Welcome to the review of r/short scary stories. Today we've got 3 stories by 3 different creators that have given us permission to share their story on YouTube. Loop and hook. No. I mean, why did I say it like that? No, you've got to loop and hook, my father growled at me. You've got to learn this. I glanced at my mother but got nothing. Your mum ain't gonna help you. Prepare yourself, he said, winding up. His fist slammed into me again. There's some abuse relationship right here. This is how it was between us. I guess my dad was some kind of hero. He'd saved my mother when she was pregnant with me. I'd been told the story so often I felt like I'd lived it myself. Why does he do this? I asked my mum one day at the kitchen table. She sighed and looked into my eyes. You have to understand that he loves you more than you know right now. One day, you will. There was something so authentic with how she said it that it was impossible to disbelieve. Their care for one another was unique. My dad slept on the couch. It was short and his feet would hang over the edge. Couldn't figure out why, but Mum didn't seem displeased with this arrangement. They seemed more like friends. I mean, people get like that when they get older. Like if the dad snores, if he's on the couch, I guess. When I got older, I gave him a harder time. You see, he only ever pulled this one move over and over again. He'd punch with his right, I'd duck it, then put everything I had into a right hook. He only wanted me to learn this move for some reason. But I can say one thing, I got good at it. The last time we did this, I drilled him. He crumpled to the floor and I could tell that I broke his cheek. We're done, he croaked out. Man, I must have been about 17 at that time. My father took off after that and I never saw him again. This made me crazy angry. And what made me even more was that my mum didn't seem to care much. Things happen for a reason, she'd say, looking at me smiling. Don't worry, son, we'll be together again soon. This was about a year ago. The other night, I went out walking. It was nice, warm, with a mild breeze coming down Main Street. But then, like a camera, something clicked and the wind stopped. The cars looked like they were from 20 years ago. I heard a scream close to home and I rushed to find some guy attacking a lady. I pushed him and he wound up just like my dad had done. I ducked and all the anger and I ducked. What? I ducked. And all the anger at my father leaving and my mother being so considerate about it came down plunging into this man's face as if it were boneless. He begged me not to hit him again and I told him to split, which he did. Thank you so much, I heard my mother say breathlessly, and I stood there shocked. As I lifted her from the ground, I could see clearly who she was and that she was young and pregnant. Come to my home, she offered. I've got a couch you can sleep on. Basically, everything in this story is just smoothly leads into the end, like a loop. So the title's Loop and Hook. Basically, it could describe the move the dad was teaching the son to be able to save his mother again, or it could be the foreshadowing of the fact that this story is a loop. And that's why this stranger stuck with her despite being a stranger, because actually to him he's her son, but 20 years in the future. And he keeps going through this loop where he goes back in time to save her and then live as her kind of her father figure for her son, and then he has to teach him to continue that loop.
Pardon?
And then the creator said here, the only thing I'd add, that once he's trained himself to save his mother, he's freed from it. It's still a linear life. So maybe after the father leaves, he's able to like actually leave, and his son carries on that loop to train the next son so that he can leave. That's quite interesting. And maybe the mother does know. Imagine like getting beat up every time, like just a loop of you getting beat by this man, getting saved, giving birth, getting pregnant and getting beat again. Like, oh my god, that loop must be a bit difficult. Really liked that one. I'm glad we found it. Give it an upvote, of course. Thank you so much for letting me read that. Factory 4. I work the line at Factory 4. The work is hard on the soul, but I'm lucky to have the job. I am lucky to have the job. I've got to remember to tell myself that when my stomach falters and the bile rises in my throat. I do it for my family, for my wife and my 2 daughters, Mary, Isla and little Elise. I run the knife downward, not too deep. I have to cut the skin, but not the muscles or organs. When I was onboarded, I told them that I had hunted deer before the Swift Turner Act was enacted. I lied, but they didn't follow up and the job was a way to avoid the lottery. I am lucky to have the job. So he sounds like a butcher, pretty much, but in a factory environment. I cut the fascia until the skin is separated enough from the muscle to pull it off. The skin goes into a trough. Wait, I don't know how to say that.
Pardon?
Oh, trough. My mistake. Okay. The skin goes into a trough. The motors above grind to life, and a new hanging body swings into my station. I run the knife downward. I breathe in deeply to steady the tremors, but also get the stench of aging blood and discarded viscera. I am lucky to have the job. I feel like he's saying all this with like tears in his voice, like he's sad, he doesn't like the job. It just sounds disgusting. The alternative is worse. I could have ended up on the conveyor like so many others. My family could have. Those aristocrats for whom human flesh became a new delicacy didn't distinguish between young and old when they established the lottery. Oh! Okay, so this isn't like a money lottery, but a human lottery. So it's not just a butcher, this guy's a human cutter-upper. Okay, 12:20 p.m. It's almost lunchtime for those who have grown numb enough to stomach a meal. But my supervisor told me that I couldn't see outside visitors until I increased my productivity. Your wife and daughters won't be seeing you for a while, I imagine, he said, his eyes filling with something akin to guilt. I hadn't responded. Best not to stick out when the work I do will keep us safe. Body before break is a young girl. Her head is hidden in a drawstring sack like all the others. For the dignity of the dead, they say. But I know it's so we can't see the holes in their foreheads. I run the knife downward and try not to think about the pain of this poor girl's family. I do, however, try to imagine their faces. I keep the image with me and add it to the hundreds of others. Oh, okay, I think I get it. So, lottery numbers. Every person has a number, and if it's called out in the lottery, they have to get killed and taken here. As I cut fascia, my supervisor comes by and nods at the girl's body with a telling glance. The head sack. I kneel down and remove it, swallowing hard at the sight of the girl's lifeless face. It's a necessary horror to endure to get the next vial of neurotoxin from the sack. I rub it into the girl's bare muscles with a practiced deftness, saving enough for the next 2 bodies. My supervisor stops next to my station, feigning a review of his clipboard. "Mary and the girls," he whispers. "Made it into Canada night before last. I am lucky to have this job. They'll regret forcing me to take it." Oh wow. Man, I love how wholesome people are in the comments. I could read a book about this. It reminds me of the Hunger Games because of the rich controlling the poor aspect. Yes. I wonder who decides to sell human flesh? I saw the cannibalism coming easily, but I wasn't expecting that ending at all. Eat the rich before the rich eat us. Wait, what? Is that what the ending meant? They regret forcing me to take it. Oh. Original poster is stressing humans for the rich to eat. In the end, he and his supervisor are plotting to poison the meat. Original poster gets his family out safe. Oh. Oh my god, that's what they were putting in the young girl's muscles. Ooh. Oh wow. I get it. Oh my god. You know, I feel dumb that I didn't get it at first. Like, I had my own little thing in my head that I thought had happened. So he's putting poison. What? Wait, what was it actually? Neurotoxin. I think it's just because I didn't know what neurotoxin was. Now I understand. Yeah, that makes sense now. They regret forcing me to take it. They're planning to poison everyone. They eat. Oh, it's actually cannibalism. You see, this story is for the highly intelligent. And I finally got it. That is so good. Thank you for letting me read that. Hopefully I didn't offend you. I didn't understand at first. Okay, we'll move on to the next. Mummy Dearest. She sat on her daughter's bed and pulled the covers up high. "Shall I tell you a story, my darling?" "No, Mummy, you don't have to. But will you sit with me till I go to sleep?" "Of course."
Pardon?
"Of course. I'll stay as long as you like. You don't have to worry about a thing." She leaned down and tenderly kissed her daughter's brow. "Oh my, you feel cold. Are you cold, my darling?" "No, Mum, I'm fine." She straightened the quilt from the side to side. The quilt her grandmother had made and given to her on her wedding day so many years ago. She could still hear the faint crimson stains. "Here? Are you sure?" "Yes, ma'am." "Okay then." She rested her hand upon her daughter's chest. "I don't have a thing in the world to do tomorrow. I thought we'd spend the day together. Just you and me. How would that be?" "Wonderful." The girl's eyes lit up. "That would be so nice, just you and me. Is there anywhere in particular you'd like to go? Anything particular you'd like to do?" "Yes, please. I'd like to go to the glade down by the pond where all the dogwoods are. We can pick flowers." "Yes, we can pick all you like." "You don't think Daddy will mind, do you?" "Your father?" "I don't want to make him angry. You know how he gets when he's angry." Just then, she heard her husband's footfalls coming up the stairs. The joy drained from her countenance, and she turned to face the door as he opened it. "It's late, Marge," he said. "I think I'm gonna turn in." She nodded curtly. "What about you? You coming?" "In a bit. You go on without me." He gazed forlornly across the room, started to leave, but said, "It's been 6 months." She looked away so he wouldn't see her tears. should there be any. I'm worried. I don't think it's good for you to come up here and sit so much. And Doc agrees with me, it's not healthy. Doc is entitled to his opinion, she retorted, then turned to face him. And so are you. I'm entitled to my opinion too. Marge, I'll be down in a minute, James. You go on. He started to protest, but in the end decided against it and left her be. She returned her attention to her daughter, and the smile returned to her face. She's dead. She's dead. She's dead. Daughter is dead. He did it. Okay, he did it, the daughter said. The detective said it was an accident, but it wasn't. He was angry and he did it on purpose. I know, my darling. Don't make him angry. He's not nice when he's angry. I know. She retrieved the knife from the layers of her gown, let a razor-sharp edge catch the dim light. But after tonight, we won't be bothered by that ever again. Really, Mummy? She nodded. Oh, Mummy. She rose and hugged her mother around the neck. You're the best Mummy ever. Jeez. So, father killed the kid when he got angry, and no one suspects him. He doesn't think anyone suspects him either, because he's acting like fine. The detective said it was an accident, so he's like, he thinks he's safe. Wow. It would be really good as a short, like, animated film. All of these stories would have. So she's talking to her daughter, who's now a ghost. And I guess I like to think that, like, ghosts stick around in the world because there's unfinished business, or they died when they weren't ready, or like revenge, sort of, in a way. So the daughter won't be at peace until she's avenged because she got killed. So her mother is avenging her because she believes that the father has killed her. I wonder how she knows. Is the father abusive? I wonder, like, how their life has been. This is a very good story. I'd like a part 2, like, describe how she kills him. Let's see what this man deserves for killing a little kid, bruh. Well, I love them stories. I'm really glad that we got to read them.